Hi everyone, we are happy to welcome you in another Eaglessoft webinar. It's great to see you all here again. My name is Ergün Bektaş and I will be hosting today's session and as well as providing you with technical aspects of our topic. Today we will talk about Serbia's e-delivery node system, namely about what has changed, what is already active, and most importantly, what this means for your daily operations. This is not just a regulation anymore. This is something companies are already dealing with in real life. So today's goal is very clear. By the end of this session, you should clearly understand how the system works and what you need to do next. Before we begin, let me introduce my colleague, Alper Alada. He is an e-compliance expert and SAP SD consultant. We are both working directly on these implementations. So what you will hear today is not theoretical. It is based on real projects and real challenges. Let's take a quick look at the agenda. First, we will go through the e-delivery system in Serbia, what it is, how it works, and what has changed recently. Then we will briefly introduce Eaglessoft so you understand who we are. And finally, we will focus on our solutions, about how we help companies implement this in practice. And at the end, we will summarize the key takeaways. So let's get started. Alper, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Ergün. I will start with the basics. What is an e-delivery node? At a simple level, it's a digital version of a delivery document, but in reality, it's much more than that. Because now, this document is controlled by a central system called SEO, which ensures that every shipment is registered, validated, and tracked. So instead of just sending goods, you are actually reporting that movement to the system in real time. This creates a full digital control chain, and this is why we call it end-to-end compliance. Now, let's talk about the crucial point where companies really feel the impact. First, transparency increases. You always know what is being shipped and where it is. Second, operational efficiency improves. Less paperwork, fewer delays, fewer manual errors. Third, real-time monitoring. You don't need to wait. Everything is visible instantly. And maybe most importantly, it removes the gap between logistics and finance. Now, these two are connected. So, this is not just a logistics change, it's a business process transformation. Let's look at the overall process. And here is the key idea. A delivery node is only valid after SEO approval. So what does this mean in practice? You create a delivery, send it to system validates it, then it becomes legally valid. And the system generates a unique ID and timestamp. So every shipment now has a digital identity. If this step is not fulfilled, you may still move the goods physically, but from a legal perspective, it's not valid. And this is where companies need to be careful. And then now the timeline. Let's look at this slide. We are already in phase one. Since January 2026, this is mandatory for public sector, business to government transactions, and excise goods such as coffee, cigarette, alcohol, petroleum products in terms of business to business transactions. And this already affects many companies. The next phase is October 2027, where all business to business transactions will be included. So today is a transition period, but not a relaxed one. You are already expected to comply. When it comes to the risk of non-compliance, this is the point where you need to really take into consideration. There are financial penalties per se, but more importantly, your operations can be stopped. Imagine your shipment is ready, but when checked, the system says it's not valid. That's not just a fine, that's a business interruption. When we look at the financial side, for legal entities, meaning companies, penalties range from 200,000 Serbian dinars up to 2 million Serbian dinars per violation. For entrepreneurs, the range is 50,000 to 500,000 Serbian dinars. And for responsible persons, such as CEOs and directors, there is a personal fine between 50,000 and 150,000 Serbian dinars. This is not only company level risk, but also a personal liability. And when it comes to archiving is also important. You need to store these documents for a long time. For public sector, it should be permanent. For private sector, it's 10 years retention periods. As you would understand, it's not just about sending data, it's about managing it properly. Now is the time to explain possible integration points and options where companies need to make a real decision. There are basically two ways of connect to SEO. The first option is connecting through the web portal. This is a manual interface provided by the authorities. You log in, enter the data, upload the document, and manage everything manually. For small companies or for very low transaction volumes, this is a good option, but only up to a point. Because as soon as your volume increases, this approach starts to struggle. It takes time. It increases the risk of human error and it creates operational bottlenecks. So while it looks simple, it doesn't scale well. The second option is API integration. This means your ERP system communicates directly with the Serbian system. So instead of manual entry, everything is automated. Your delivery document is created in your system, converted into the e-delivery XML format based on UBL 2.1, then validated and sent automatically to the receiver. No manual intervention, and this is where the real benefit comes in. With API integration, you get speed, accuracy, real-time processing, and full traceability. You also reduce dependency on manual operations. So, in practice, most companies start with the portal but quickly realize they need automation. And that's why for medium and large companies, API integration is not just an option. It's really the only sustainable way forward. And finally, the system is now fully active. Authorities can monitor transactions in real time, which means compliance is no longer something you check later. It's something you need to ensure before the shipment happens.
Thanks, Alper. That gave us a very clear picture, and let's now move from what the regulation is to who we are and how we support it. Before we move into the technical details of our products, I would like to start by briefly introducing Eaglessoft. We are specialized in ERP transformation and e-compliance solutions, including e-invoicing, e-delivery, safety, and e-ledger. We operate across 4 locations with our headquarters in Brussels, Belgium, and offices in Frankfurt, Istanbul, and Ankara. This international presence allows us to combine European compliance expertise with strong local support for our customers. At Eaglessoft, we believe that delivering IT and e-compliance services requires not only experience, but also proven and certified capabilities. That's why we are ISO 27001 certified, ensuring that information security and data protection are embedded into everything we do. We are also a People Access Point certified provider. which allows us to support secure and compliant electronic invoicing and document exchange across multiple countries. Combined with our ERP expertise, API and integration capabilities and solutions deployed in more than 25 countries, these certifications demonstrate our commitment to security, reliability, and enterprise-grade IT services. We designed our solutions with one key idea in mind: flexibility, because we know that every company has a different system landscape. Some companies are using SAP, some are using different flavors of ERP systems, and some are still working without a fully structured ERP. So instead of forcing companies to change their systems, we adapt to their existing environment. For example, if you are using SAP, we provide our eDocSuit SAP add-on. This solution works directly inside SAP, so your users don't need to leave the environment they are accustomed to. If you are using another ERP system, then we integrate your system to our backbone, DocNow, through APIs. DocNow is the central integration layer for all Eaglessoft products. It connects your ERP to the Serbian system, handles data transformation, and manages the full compliance process. And if you don't need a full-fledged ERP system, eInvoicing is the best tool you might choose. With eInvoicing, you can manage your e-compliance processes through a simple and user-friendly interface. To sum up, I can say that you don't need to change your system to become compliant. We integrate with what you already have. And this is important because in most projects, the biggest challenge is not the regulation itself. Formalizing internal systems is the most challenging point, and we remove that challenge. I will try to explain this on an example in SAP Outbound Delivery. When a delivery is created in SAP, eDocSuite add-on is triggered automatically. First, it extracts the data directly from the SAP, then it converts the extracted data into the required UBL format. After that, it validates the data to make sure everything is correct. And finally, it submits e-delivery note to the Serbian SEO system via APIs. During all this time, the whole process is monitored. You can track the status of each document, see if it is accepted or rejected, and identify any issues immediately. Eaglessoft tools also provide reporting and archiving capabilities for compliance. So from the user perspective, the user just creates the delivery in SAP and everything else happens automatically. The key takeaway here is the process becomes fully automated, controlled, and compliant. Now let's look at the inbound process. When a delivery note comes from the supplier, it is received from the SEO system. DocNow validates the data and transfers it to the eDocSuite and then to SAP. At the same time, you can monitor everything: incoming documents, their status, and any issues. So from the user perspective, the user simply receives the document in SAP and the rest is handled automatically. And the result is a fully automated and compliant inbound process. For non-SAP systems, the logic is very similar. DocNow acts as a central layer again. It retrieves delivery data in any format from your ERP system, converts it to UBL, validates it, and sends to the Serbian SEO system. For incoming documents, it works the same way. DocNow receives, processes, and transfers them into the ERP system. So you don't need to modify your ERP system or generate a specific file format. DocNow accepts any structured format and adapts to your ERP system. So let's make a quick summary. Serbian SEO is a clearance-based system. That means every delivery must go through the SEO platform and validate it. Validation is mandatory, and without system approval, the shipment is not legal. Also, the system is already live, so this is not something for the future. Companies need to comply today. And finally, no matter what system you use, SAP, another ERP, or even no ERP, Eaglesoft provides a solution that fits your environment. Before we close, I would like to give a quick final word to my partner. Alper, would you share your closing thoughts?
Thanks, Ergun. From my side, I would say the key point is to act without losing any time. The system is already live, and companies should focus on stabilizing their processes as soon as possible. And
Thank,
thank you and have a great day.
thank you, Alper. And from the solution side, it is important to choose the right integration approach because the right setup will save a lot of time and effort in the long run. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We will be happy to support you. Have a great day.